Alright, check this out. You guys are back on the Hater World and I'm Blue Devil. What we have going on today is a video of a tag banger that goes by the name of Kruk One. I guess his homie got murked on the 6th Street Bridge. But before we get into that video, if you guys are new to the Hater World, make sure you go over, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, like the video, and most importantly, leave me a comment down below and let me know if you guys like what I'm doing or whether you don't. And salute to all my day ones. You guys already know nothing but love. But check this out. We got this video of a man being killed on the 6th Street Bridge. I guess a rapper that goes by the name of Kruk One was shooting a music video and his homeboy got murked. So check this out. This video was sent to my Instagram at TheHaterWorld. So if you guys don't follow me, make sure you do so. And other than that, I don't want to hold you guys too long. There's 2 clippings of the news that I want to watch with you guys, and then we'll go ahead and react. So we're going to watch the clips entirely, and then we'll come back and just speak a little bit about this whole situation. Alright, so with no further ado, let's get it.
This breaking news, a shooting on the 6th Street Bridge. Assignment desk editor Mike Rogers is live at the desk with the very latest on this. Mike.
Hi, Pat. Yeah, we're following this. I've got SkyCal overhead. I want to get you right up to his video. This is happening on the 6th Street Bridge, the Boyle Heights side of the 6th Street Bridge. I just talked to LAPD. You can see where they're focused on. You see the flashlights. They're off to the left. Those officers walking up this roundabout pedestrian walkway up to the 6th Street Bridge. Now, the information that we have, we were listening to this when it was happening, there was some sort of music video or some sort of production type shoot happening at the base of the bridge. Something happened and shots were fired. Now, we know the suspect fled in a Dodge, what we believe to be a Durango. LAPD had an air unit there very quickly. This is really close to their Hooper heliport, which is where they base their helicopters out of. The air unit actually located a vehicle. They got close to it. They had a ground unit follow it, but then they realized it was not the right vehicle after speaking with the person who'd called 911. So what we do know is this person not in very good shape. We have some video from the scene. CPR was being conducted on the bridge by officers before the fire department even arrived. Now, they did take him to the hospital. We're awaiting word on his condition, but the 6th Street Bridge has drawn a lot of attention and now some bad attention as a person fighting for their life after being shot on the 6th Street Bridge. Pat.
Check this out. That was the first clip. Now, there's a second one, a very short one of the police or the paramedics wheeling some guy away on the stretcher. And it says the guy's age and a little bit more info. Let's watch that one, then we'll replay it, and I'll give you guys a small little breakdown, alright? So let's get it.
Now to that deadly shooting last night on the pedestrian ramp to the 6th Street Bridge. We got a major update today. Police say it happened during an unauthorized music video shoot. The victim, only identified as a man in his 20s, died at the hospital. The shooter remains on the loose tonight. Witnesses telling police the shooter fired several shots at the victim and drove off in a blue Dodge Charger with a white racing stripe. Police believe this shooting was gang-related.
So check this out. Check this out. That's the rapper Kruk One. He's a Chicano rapper. You know, he might not be labeled as a Chicano rapper, but he's a Mexican-American, Chicano, Latino, Hispanic, Cali-Mac, whatever fucking label you want to give him. That's what he is. At the end of the day, he's a rapper, okay? It doesn't seem like he belongs to a gang, but he is a tagger, right? Or ex-tagger. I don't want to put a label on nobody, but I guess he is an ex-tagger, right? Or allegedly tagger, whatever, right? Shit's out there. But he doesn't belong to any Southsider gang, right? Or Southern Cali gang. So I did a little bit of research into this guy, right? And listen, a lot of you motherfuckers probably gonna hate me after this. A lot of you motherfuckers probably gonna understand me. But take it how you will. I don't really give a fuck. It is what it is. But check this out. So, I looked a little bit into his background. And this motherfucker loves to beef with real gang members, right? I see he had a beef with Bozo. He had a beef with a few other people, right? But the one that stood out was Bozo, okay? So he beefs with real Southsiders, with real double S members, with real street gang members, right? I'm not implicating nobody. I'm not saying anybody had anything to do with this. What I'm trying to make you guys understand is that this guy beefs with a lot of people, right? A lot of real street active individuals, right? So when you beef with people like that are not on your level, because a lot of you guys out there might say that, taggers are this, taggers are that, but a tagger is not on the level of a gang member. Okay, a tagger is like, it's levels to this gangster shit, right? It's levels to the type of crimes you'll commit as a tagger and as a active street member, right? Certain crimes that taggers won't commit, gang members will, and vice versa, right? Back in the 90s, a lot of tagger gangs got into Southside gangs because the gangs that were taking over the city didn't want nobody else running around the city. So either you joined the Southside gangs or you got taken out. So a lot of taggers became gang members. And those that didn't, just went around the city in the dark hitting up their fucking tag gang, right? Well, this guy beefs with a lot of people, right? And I saw a lot of people were crying and sad over this guy that got killed. A 20-year-old kid got killed, and a lot of people were sad, devastated, crying, saying that he didn't deserve it, blah blah blah. And then you had a lot of people saying that he did deserve it because these guys act like gang members. They act like crooks. They act like they're with the program, right? Well, every picture that I looked up of Kruk One, he was gang banged out. Whether it was the appearance or the words or the image, whatever the fuck, he was gang banged out. If nobody told me he was a tagger, I would think he was from a gang. Okay? So the image is there. Now, is he doing all this for his career, his music career? The only one that knows would be him, right? But let me get to this. I don't feel bad for his homeboy getting smoked. Not one bit. Now, you can call me cruel. You can call me cold-hearted. You can call me whatever. But I don't feel bad. And neither should anybody watching this feel bad for the guy that died. Or Kruk One. The only people you should feel bad for is the family. The parents. The father, the mother, the sister, the boyfriend, the girlfriend. Whatever, right? Because they don't deserve this. But when you play in the streets, these are the consequences. They tell you, the homies tell you, death or prison. That's all that comes with this. And you can say, well, he's not a gang member. He's not, but he acts like one. He fucks around with one. He disrespects them. He beefs it with them. These are the consequences that come with the game that you play. You can't act tough on camera. You can't act tough on the internet. You can't act tough, here, there, and then expect for you to talk yourself out of murder, talk yourself out of a beatdown, or talk yourself out of whatever. You can't. You can't expect other people to react a certain way just because you're acting, And if you're not acting, and this is really what you're about, then what can I say? You only have a few options here. And I'm not advocating for him to go out and do some, criminal activity or pay his homeboys. None of that. I'm not advocating for none of that. But when you belong to the streets, you only have a few options. Your option is either to get your get back or find a way to make them hurt, right? Whether it's sending the boys, sending the squad, paying someone, or even doing the dirty work yourself. I'm not saying I hope that he does that, or I hope he does that, but when you from the streets and you got an image to protect, there's only a few options that are left on the table. It's either that or get the fuck out the game. Bust a Cuando Rondo. Put your flag down. But people were asking me if I felt bad. I said, why the fuck would I feel bad? We all lose homies every day. And besides, if we all lose homies or we don't, like, everybody knows that the game they play. You don't think cops go to work knowing they can die that day? Of course they do. And if they die, nobody feels bad because, well, family always feels bad, and people may feel sorrow, but like they knew the game they were playing, you know. I'm gonna give you guys a quick little story time. One of my ex-father-in-laws passed away a few years ago, right? And he's one of the guys that teach me a lot. He teach me a lot of my hustling skills. He teach me how to get money. You know, he teach me a lot of the game. And when he died, the family was crying, but I was celebrating, you know. And they asked me why I was doing that. And I said, I'm happy because that motherfucker lived a long, fruitful life, and he lived it the way he wanted to live it. You know, he loved getting high. He loved, you know, rolling around with hood rats. He loved banging. He loved it all. And that's exactly how he died. He died out there doing what he loved to do, you know. And he was already up there in age, in his 60, 70, I think it was 60 some. And he died doing what he loved to do. So I can't feel bad because he went out the way he wanted to go out, you know. And so you can't feel bad for these people either because they're out there banging, throwing up gang signs, running amok, talking about this and that, and when I catch you slip. So they finally catch him, and you expect other people to feel bad? Nah. You know, condolences to the family, condolences to the people that might have been hurt that were regular civilians, but to anybody playing the game, you can't feel bad, you know, at all. So with all that being said, I hope Kruk One gets his act together. If he's not a gang member, quit disrespecting and beefing with real gang members because their agenda is different from yours, you know. And if it's just an image, then maybe go about it a different way, rather than, you know, trying to be the tough guy. It's a cold game, you know. It's a cold game. But I did see this, and I want to give a shout out to American Cholo. I saw him speaking about the situation and saying that people were in the comments of the video, and they were saying something like, well, I would have done this, I would have done that, or, you know, Kruk deserves it. Well, look, let me say this. Nobody deserves to die, you know, point blank, period. Nobody deserves to die, you know, unless it's certain situations where motherfuckers need to be buried underneath the jail or taken out. But, you know, I don't want to get into those situations. But nobody deserves to die at all. You know, but you can't be provoking people expecting something not to happen, right? And then for the people saying, I would have done this, I would have done that. First of all, you would not have done shit. Motherfuckers can say all this rah-rah shit, but when it's time, is time, you don't be thinking like that. Listen, you can say, if somebody rolls up on me, I'm going to grab the 40 and I'm going to buck back. The shit could literally go down and you're sitting there like, the fuck is going on? And by the time you actually reflex and do something, it's over. You know, it's not that easy. You know, I've been shot several times, been shot at and actually been hit several times. There's been a few attempts on my life, and I can tell you there's a few times where I was struck in where I was just standing there like, damn, what do I do next? You know, and there was times where I was quick on the trigger. It's just one of those things, you know. If you're not expecting it, you don't know what the fuck to do. You know, but that's part of the game. You know, again, shout out to Kruk One, but hope the homie gets his act together. Shout out to Bozo, just because he had a mention in this video. Real street dude. Shout out to AC, American Cholo, for touching up on the subject. And, you know, my condolences to the family of the victim. But, you know, now you're left with a couple of choices. Either get your get back or get out the game. Because if you don't do something, you're going to look soft. But you ain't got to, I'm talking to Kruk One, he ain't got to go out backwards trying to prove to the internet that he's somebody he's really not. You know, so let me give a quick message to the kids. Stay out the streets. You don't need the streets. The streets are not as important as what they used to be back in the day. I tell people all the time, back then we went outside because we was bored. We had nothing to do inside, so we went outside just to fuck around. Nowadays, you got the internet, you got phones, you got Nintendo, you got all this shit inside that you ain't gotta go outside. You know, you can make $1 million sitting in your couch. You know, back then you couldn't do shit inside but watch TV. And once the good shows were over, it was like, what do we do next? You know what? Let's go outside, see what's going on. Y ahí es donde valía madre todo. You know, but I can't feel bad because when you're playing the game, you're playing the game. So shout out to everybody that was mentioned in this video. And then all the people out there trying to play with real ones, be careful, because that shit will come back and bite you in the ass. And as far as the Dodge Charger and the shooter, it was probably a G-Ride. You know, they were probably locals. And they probably won't be busted. You know. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this was a little bit different. Make sure you guys like the video, share the video, comment on the video for the algorithm. Follow me on Instagram at TheHaterWorld. And other than that, I'm going to kill this video where it lay and call it a day. I'm Blue Devil. This has been a TheHaterWorld production. And we out.